All right, what's up? I'm Samantha Parker with the Peak team at Keller Williams Capital District, and I'm standing here with Tom Nardacci from the Moose Club, and you've probably seen him around once or twice before. Thank you for spending time with me.
This is great. Thanks for coming. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so we're here at the Moose Club, which is your second incubator?
Yep, so this is a co-working space, an incubator for creative and tech businesses. The Albany space is a follow-up to our Troy location, Troy Innovation Garage, which I opened 2 years ago. Yesterday was our second birthday.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah,
awesome.
So the beginning of year 3. We opened this space a few months ago and right across the street from the state capitol. So really tied into what's happening in Albany and really part of the pulse of downtown and stuff that's happening across the street, state politics.
Oh, that's awesome. Wow. And you also have Gramercy, right?
Yeah, so I moved back up 2005. I started Gramercy Communications. It's a PR, public affairs firm. I still run that, I still own it, and spend half my time doing that and half my time doing these new endeavors. So that makes for like an 80-hour work week, so
right.
40 and 40.
Well, that's what it is like. That's what it's like when you're an entrepreneur, right?
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's life.
Yeah.
So,
Well.
You know.
Yes. Yes, I do. I do. So tell me, why Albany?
Well, so we opened up the Troy location because I'm from Rensselaer County, and I love Troy, and I went to high school in Troy, and I always wanted to do business in Troy. I wanted to be part of what was happening downtown. But as I was thinking about opening up another location, it made sense to do it here in Albany, the state capital. An iconic location in the state. There's just so much happening down here that the market was underserved for this type of business, and we just saw an opportunity.
Well, why don't we walk around and check out what you have going on here and the people that you have occupying the space?
Yeah.
Because I understand that you are at full capacity and you even have a wait list now.
Yeah, so in the first 8 weeks, we filled up 22 offices. So we have 20 offices in Troy, so 42 offices are fully occupied. I'm not in real estate. Obviously I am now, but I was never in real estate, so now I am. But so it's been great. The reception's been amazing. It justified everything that we thought, and now we're building up the co-working. We're building up the space, the shared workspace, the open space, and we're building up, trying to get more events and more people to come in and use the space, here and there, not necessarily every day.
Oh, fantastic. So yeah, let's do the tour.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
So tell us about where we're about to walk into and what each space sort of is as we walk.
Okay, so you'll be able to appreciate this story because you represent buyers in real estate. So when I walked into this space, and I came around this corner and I saw this view, in my head I just was like, be cool. Pretend like you don't like it. But
right.
I walked in and I saw this view of the Capitol. I was like, this is it.
Right.
This is so in City Hall, in downtown. So the idea that we're so close to what's happening right here, it was a no-brainer to me. So we designed this space around this view, that we wanted the co-working space to have the most iconic views. The shared space has the best views.
All right, let's take a look.
Yeah,
Oops, sorry. Let's walk over here. I want to check it out. Yeah, this is incredible.
I mean, so we're literally like 500 steps from the Capitol. This building was pretty underutilized. It's been occupied. It had been occupied, but it was all chopped up. And a new owner bought the building, wanted to do some interesting stuff, and actually, a friend of mine, a colleague of mine, had done some renovations on another floor in here, so that's how I knew about the building.
Oh, yeah.
And just walked in and was like, I think this could work. And
yeah. But you didn't want to let it you didn't want it to show too quickly, right?
No, so I tried to play it cool. It was hard because I knew it was the right space. And the other thing too is like even the views of Albany City Hall. Like I think that's one of
really
Albany's most beautiful buildings. It's totally underappreciated sometimes for architecture. But H.H. Richardson, a famous architect, you see H.H. Richardson architecture all over the country. So I was in Toronto, Boston, Key West. Pittsburgh, all these old cities you go to, they have examples of Richardsonian architecture. So it's a pretty famous school of architecture. We're lucky to have one in Albany.
Oh, that's interesting. That leads me into something else that I want to go do later on after this.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. Let's see. So Let's keep walking. I want to see what else you have going on here and the people that are working. So tell us about some of the people that are here.
So out in this space is this is the flexible workspace. So people come in. Some people come in every day to work. This is their office.
Okay.
Right. So they can just come in, sit wherever they want. Flexible workspace. We have a variety of meeting rooms here, or we have folks who come in and they have a private office suite.
Okay.
So today you have a mix of people, a mix of industries I see here.
Okay.
Someone who's a state reporter, we have a PR marketing firm, labor union. So you have a mix of some technology companies here that do business with the state of New York. So it's a really diverse mix of companies and organizations.
So do you find that there are more things, because it is the capital, do you feel like most of the people that are here are either working at the state capitol or in government services of some kind?
Yeah, I would say more than half of the people who are in this space have some sort of business dealings with the state.
Okay.
So not necessarily the capital. So we have people who are tied into the politics and legislative what's happening, but there's a number of folks here who they have business before the state of New York. So we have some enterprise teams for large corporations here because they have contracts with the state of New York. But then the other half is people who just are in the capital region, they want to be in downtown Albany, they love downtown Albany, or people who, for whatever reason, have other business dealings around downtown.
Yeah, that leads me to my other question, which I am curious how what this is doing is impacting the city, but as you speak, I'm hearing you say that it's impacting really the state too. So you have a multitude of different people.
The idea here was not just to build spaces that impact what's happening in the neighborhood, but really to have a much larger impact. So our space in Troy, for example, is tied into statewide and even national level technology happenings. People who are tied into venture funds and venture-backed companies, they're trying to do national level things from downtown Troy. So here, for example, we're trying to do things that are impactful statewide as well as beyond just the companies in here. One of the things that we've been doing is we've been having a series of programs and conversations about issues.
Okay.
So I want this space to be a place where people can come and have disruptive dialogues, where they can have uncomfortable conversations that may impact some sort of change across the street.
Yeah,
and we're
great.
starting to have that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you give us any information on any of those or tell us about them?
Well, I'll tell you one of the things so here's something that we're trying to put together that I'd like to put together. It's a passion of mine, is I want to have a dialogue about high-speed rail in New York State. So it's something we've talked a little bit around the edges. It's something that's fallen off the radar for the last few years, but we're trying to reinvigorate that conversation. Why can't we connect the state quicker? Why can't we have train service from here to New York City much quicker? It's happening all around the world. New York State should be on par with what's happening internationally.
Yeah, I like that. Even just for the Tri-City area, start small and then get real big, because we can help each other, right?
Exactly, and that's and a big part of what we're doing too is regionalization. This idea of look, it's not Albany versus Troy versus Schenectady versus Saratoga versus Hudson. We're one region.
Yeah.
So I've been really trying to champion this idea of look, the 518, the capital region, we're one place. We all have, there's a diversity of things happening, which makes this place great. But also too, we don't need to compete against each other.
No.
We need to come together and then compete against other national cities and then internationally as well.
Yeah, to bring the big guns into the area, we need to work together, right?
Exactly, totally.
All right, so show us around a little bit more. So this is all co-space where anyone can pop a squat, basically.
So there's probably 70 open seats here, a variety of seats, standing desks, sitting desks. We have some privacy rooms here, so if you needed to take if you had to go in here and you needed a private phone call, you could just pop in and take a call.
Kind of like, let me be in jail for a second.
There you go. So so that's something that it's just a convenience. And I built this space. I toured 75 spaces around the country, and I continually go look at co-working and incubator spaces and see what are the best practices. And I took those ideas and I brought them home. So this summer I was in Boulder. A few weeks ago I was in Pittsburgh. I've been to Chicago, Miami, Philly. So I've really been every place, taking ideas and bringing them back. And that's part of what I think has made us successful, is that I've not necessarily fully reinvented the wheel. I've just taken the best ideas and put them in practice here.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So like, what's next? I mean, if you're taking all these ideas, how many of these do you plan to do? Like, are they going to be local, or where's your expansion?
That's a good question. So I'm really happy with Troy and with Albany and where we're at. I think the capital region probably needs 10 flexible workspaces of differing degrees, right? So there's a few others that are already open. There's some that have announced they're coming online. I think more should come as well. The question for me is whether I want to be part of what's next. I've been totally open source, which basically, if anyone's opening up a co-working space or an incubator, come talk to me. I'm totally open. I'll share my story. I'll share my finances. Like, I'll help you help. Yeah, because I think what we're doing, this is social entrepreneurship. Yes, I'm in business. Yes, I want to make money. Yes, I want to be successful, but I want to move the region forward. And I think by helping other people who want to open spaces, helping them move forward, it's really a rising tide. And so that's what I want to do. In terms of what I'm really focused on, I'm considering doing things outside the area, even outside the state. I'm kind of just doing a whole creative process right now of looking and seeing and investigating, and then over the next 6 months, once I cool down after opening this space up, because it's such a rush, that I'll make a decision on what's next. So I think I'll know by the summer and towards the fall.
So you'll keep us posted.
I will keep you posted.
All right.
Definitely.
Awesome. One thing that I can say about you and reading about you, and that what I know of you, is that you do love to help people. And so for you to be open and for people to reach out to you if they're considering doing something like this, I think that's pretty impactful and pretty powerful. So it's really awesome.
I'll tell you, over the last 2 years, so I've been in business since 2005 in some way or shape. The last 2 years have dramatically improved my life because of my ability to be engaged with so many different people and to help so many different people. And our PR business is doing great, and interesting enough, our business has continued to increase on that end, even as I've done other things. But I love this business. I'm passionate about it because first of all, I'm surrounded by entrepreneurs. I'm surrounded by people that have this energy and have this spirit, and they all are wanting to move forward.
Right.
And I think being able to help them, whether it's simple, just I can help you by giving you an office simply, right? So when I started Gramercy, I took an office space. I had to sign a 5-year lease. 2 years into the lease, I was out of space.
Right, okay.
I had to break the lease.
Okay.
I had to pay $50,000. Now imagine if I had a space like this that I can come in. I didn't know how big I want to be, but I could scale in place. And then really I could have, my business would have taken off a lot faster.
Right.
So I'm helping other people who are at that process.
Right.
And even beyond, people who are scaling, they're saying, look, we're 10 employees, we want to get to 100. Now I have the connections and network, then I can introduce them to people who can help them.
Right.
And now I'm in a role with Upstate Venture Connect that I can connect people who are in software businesses that need funding to potential venture funds.
Wow, that's awesome.
Which is a whole other level of help.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, geez, I thought I was coming here just to talk about Moose Club. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I love reading about people and where they come from, how they start, and all like the real data. And then when I get to know people, I actually like getting like the side that people never really hear. And learn about them in other ways. So one of the things that I loved about that I read recently was that you actually changed your last name.
Yeah.
When you're 18.
Yeah.
That's really tell me more about that.
So I grew up, from a, I would say working class, lower middle class family. My mom and dad split when I was a kid, and just something that a lot of people go through. A lot of people have to go through, split homes and things like that. And my mom raised me as a single mom and worked 3 jobs, and it was just an amazing support for us. And so when I was legally able to, I just wanted to honor her and decided to change my name to her last name.
Yeah, I think that's really beautiful.
Thank
that
you.
must have been like when you told her, what was her reaction?
She was happy, because it was my decision. I came to her one day, I called, and I did it actually before I graduated from college, right? So I said to her, I said, look, you've helped me all through my life. You've helped me get to this point. So when I get my diploma from college, I wanted to have your last name on it. So she was definitely emotional about it. She was definitely she was supportive of it and pleased. And it's one of those things I did, and I'm glad I did it.
Yeah, it's really remarkable.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard of anyone doing that before. So I really wanted to
No, I appreciate
hear that
yeah.
story. Yeah.
No, and I think the background I have come from, I grew up in the city of Rensselaer. So growing up, by the way, so I grew up on Broadway in Rensselaer. So my bedroom in Rensselaer, I had the best views in the Capital region. You know what my view was?
Here.
It's the Albany skyline.
Wow.
So growing up as a kid, in my bed, looking out the window, I looked at the Capitol.
Wow.
So that's what people don't realize, by the way. So real estate wise, if people want views, it is from that side of the river, looking this way.
You make a very good point. You make a very good point.
So maybe there's something, and I never thought about this till now, but maybe there's something subliminal to me that, look, growing up as a kid, look, I'm looking out at Albany, and I'm looking at the Corning Tower, I'm looking at the Egg, I'm looking at the Capitol. That was my, every night going to sleep, that was my bed was set up, so I looked out the window. So, maybe all these years later, as part of the inspiration why I did this.
Yeah.
I never thought of that, but possibly.
I got 2 great stories out of that one question.
Okay. That was good. No,
Yeah, it was really
good to free me up.
Yeah.
So when I was trying to brand the space, I wanted to brand it with something political. But I wanted to do it in a way that appealed to a broad spectrum of people, right? So it's not Democrats, Republicans, right, left, libertarian. I wanted to do something that I thought was for everyone. And so the idea behind the space is it's a space for collaboration. It's also a space for collaboration in politics, right? So we have this this divisive political life going on right now in this country. And I thought, well, look, when politics ends, you still have to govern. People still have to work together to get things done. And so I was like, what about creating a space where, look, you might have someone who's conservative and someone who's a liberal, and they work in the same space. Well, maybe they might collide and and something may come out of it.
Yeah.
So Bull Moose comes from, it's inspired by Teddy Roosevelt. Teddy Roosevelt, after he was president for 2 terms, decided he was going to run again. But he didn't want to run as a Republican again, so he ran as a third-party candidate. And they nicknamed his third party, it was called the Progressive Party, but they nicknamed it the Bull Moose Party. And so I took the inspiration from Teddy Roosevelt, who is, I think, beloved by all political spectrums. And that was the idea behind it.
That's pretty cool.
And I think I got clubbed because I was at the Fort Orange Club, which is a great place in Albany, and I walked out of there and I was like, that's what we're going to build. We're going to build a club.
Right.
It's not going to be a maybe not as prestigious or as, membership, it's a membership place, but it's for everyone.
Right.
So it's this is a club for anyone.
Yeah, so the process by which people are selected, is it just first come, first serve?
Yeah, so people walk in. Yeah, so it's very open. So literally today, someone could walk in and just work here for the day.
Okay.
So they can just come in, and that's part of it. And that's what we need to educate the Capital Region about.
Yeah.
People don't realize. They know they can go into Starbucks. They know they can go into their coffee shop and set their laptop. Well, you can come here and do that too. So I think that's totally different. The other thing that's different, which we talked a little bit about before, was what's disruptive in your business, in real estate, and the commercial side, is the idea that this is totally flexible. So my story of where I had to sign a 5-year lease and break it, by the way, I signed a second 5-year lease and then broke that too, because I kept growing.
Right.
So now there's no leases here.
Wow.
So if someone comes in and takes an office, it's just 30 days, it's just they give us a notice.
Wow.
So everything's month to month.
That's incredible.
And so people pay a little bit more,
incredible.
A little more premium on the price per square foot, but they come in and everything's set up.
Right.
They have a fiber connected internet. They have, all the amenities that are here are all included. They pay a fee, but they're not committed for a year or 2 years or 3 years.
Right.
And if they grow, they can take more space, or they can leave, or if they need to scale down, which we've had companies come in here on a scale down phase, that they were in 5,000 square feet, now they only have 4 employees. Well, they can scale down and come in here and still be productive.
That's cool. That's really cool.
So the coffee we serve here.
Oh.
Right, so coffee's freshly brewed every day.
Okay.
So the coffee from Troy, the coffee from Bull Moose Club is Daily Grind.
Oh, fantastic.
Right, so we do business with Daily Grind, Lark Street.
Yeah.
You know, they roast coffee up there. I've been going to Daily Grind since I was in high school. So to me, it was like a way for me to buy local,
Yep.
to give back local.
Yes.
And those guys are like the originators of like the co-working community, right? People used to go in Daily Grind and hang out.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's a good connection for us to have.
Yeah. Did the one in Troy open first, or was it the one here?
This one here.
Okay.
This was open.
And then they opened Troy.
Yep. And so that's the thing. So like having both locations, and the things, we don't view ourselves as competition for coffee shops. Like we want people to still go to coffee shops. You know, we want people who need to be productive and they want to work someplace every day to, you know, this is a place for you. This is a place to come and do that. So in Troy last year, we served 32,000 cups of Daily Grind coffee.
Wow.
So we have all the metrics and stats
How do you have those numbers?
because we keep track of everything.
I love it. You know what?
I
bet you know your numbers.
We do, and I could tell you like how many times each seat is sat in. You know, so we track everything here. So and that's part of the, you know, how do we utilize the space and how do we maximize the use is part of it. It's driven by metrics.
So how many people, not just companies, people, do you think you have come through here on a daily basis?
So let me do both spaces. So in Troy, we have 115 members. So now if you think about this, here was a building that sat vacant for 30 years that we put 115 people in. Average wage, total wages in the building, $7.5 million.
Wow.
In Troy last year, we spent $350,000 in downtown
Wow.
retail. So you talk about impacts, that's the direct
impact.
to retail. Albany's gonna be the same thing.
Yeah.
So right now we're at 70 members here, so we're still growing. So we can get up to 150 in both spaces. So we're about half of where we want to get to.
Okay.
Offices are full. We still got to build up the co-working, the event usage, but the impacts will be the same. You'll have $8 million worth of wages in this floor, and you'll have hundreds of thousands of dollars in direct spend, plus other impacts.
So for the co-space or events and things like that, tell us who would be perfect. Who's your ideal target audience that you'd want to see come use this space for events and such?
So we're starting to host events on a regular here. In Troy, we did 80 events last year. We want to do the same here. You know, I think we could probably do 100 events a year here. And it's a mix. It's everyone from people who just need 12 or 15 people need to have a meeting. Sometimes it's what we'd like to see more of. I like to see more nonprofits that have committees that need to meet. Now they're trying to meet in people's homes or they're meeting at someone's office. They could come here and use our space for that. As well as like everything from like we've had larger scale fundraisers. So we could fit a couple hundred people in this space for a fundraiser. It'd be crowded, but that's kind of, you know, what we're looking to do. Panel discussions, people who want to have dialogues about the state capitol, lobby days, you know, things like that. We've had law firms come in and use it for a war room. So they booked our conference room for a few weeks during a trial. So even uses like that, the courthouse is right across the street.
Right.
So there's like a use that, you know, is a direct connect.
Okay.
The other thing we're doing here too, in terms of impact, is, you know, we're sending people to the hotels.
Right.
So we have members who come in from out of town. They're using the hotels every week. So
or if they have people come in.
they're using the hotels.
Right.
So there's some direct relationships that we're starting to solidify because of people not just need our space, they need to use all the other things around here, and we're trying to push them to, you know, to people who are doing good things downtown.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's like, so this is important, right? So let me get a couple coffee cups. Let me get a cup. I'll get you a gold cup.
Oh, I see. So you serve yourself.
Yeah, so here's.
Oh, I like these. Look at this. I got the gold sparkly one.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's what it says perfect for you, right?
Yep, Sam Sparkle. Perfect.
You know, so one of the things I saw in spaces I visit around the country was that they had a kind of a communal gathering space right in the middle of the work area. So you go to traditional office space, they have a kitchen or something that's in the back, or it's a break room off the side. So we wanted to put our coffee bar right front and center. So this becomes this is a meeting point. I'm getting coffee, you're getting coffee.
Right.
Where I'm forcing us to talk.
Right,
and
like the water cooler, right?
Yeah,
You
this
just talk
is it.
the water fountain, office chatter type of thing.
And let me tell you a quick story what happened at this coffee bar. So we had a company that was in here. It's a technology company. They just moved here. They're looking to grow in the capital region. They're looking to add jobs, software jobs. And to the project manager, I having coffee, and I said, "How's it going?" And he said, "It's going good." He goes, "But I'm really struggling to find. I need a full stack developer like pronto. I need to hire someone right away for this certain job." And it just happens that I knew someone who's a recruiter who's trying to place those types of developers. I connected them, and within 2 days, he interviewed 4 people.
Wow.
And it's because I was here and he was here, and I said, "How's it going?" And,
Right, and he said.
and someone got hired. It's a $100,000 a year job.
Right.
So within like a matter of days, someone was able to land a position here because a conversation that happened at this coffee bar.
And that's really how business is done. I mean, even in my business, like the opportunities are abundant. So you just have to talk. The conversation has to be had. So you created a space where people could have that conversation, which is really cool.
Yeah, and I think a big part of where it comes from is when I started my own creative business. So I think back to like when I first moved back up here from New York City. I started my business. I'm working from home. I didn't know a lot of people. I wasn't super connected. And I'm just like trying to figure it out. And look, I was going to coffee shops, and I would go to different events, and I was trying to network the best I could, but it would have been so much easier if I had this.
Right.
Because it's all cooked in already.
Right.
So it's all those things I learned the hard way that I just baked into the formula here.
Yeah.
So it's already set up for you. So if you start a business, you come in here,
And just start talking to people.
it's already set up.
Now, do the people who have space, or maybe they don't have space, but they use the co-mingle space, is there like a list? Do people know who's here?
Yeah, so we try to keep people connected in a lot of different ways. So we use Slack. So Slack is a internal communications tool. So on our Slack channel is everyone's name. There's different boards, events. People post needs, questions, and so you see even virtually on that channel, you see people connecting. Hey, does anyone know someone who does graphic design?
Cool.
4 hands raised. I
Right.
do.
That's awesome.
So it's like this immediate
Connection.
opportunity. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So we do that a lot.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen. So that happened to you,
Right here.
right here directly, but then it can also happen digitally.
Yep. Through our.
And then all of a sudden, people in the same building start talking because they saw that.
Right. People say, "Oh,
Wow.
you were the person that was looking for a designer." I'm sitting out here right now. So, and then so in the space too, you have people who just come a day a week. So they're not here every day.
Right.
So maybe they don't know everyone as much, But I think a channel like that helps people to get to know each other. So when they come in, there's already some familiarity.
Right. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So this is the Eleanor room.
Yeah. So we named all of our rooms inspired by the Roosevelt family.
Oh, okay.
So Eleanor was Teddy's cousin. She married Franklin Roosevelt, who was also a cousin. So they both were like cousins of his. But these are the Hyde Park Roosevelts, and Eleanor, played a big role in the country and state. So we wanted to honor her legacy. And we have the Franklin room named after Franklin Roosevelt, and then we have the other meeting rooms. One is called the Rough Rider room, which is the Teddy Roosevelt military legacy, and then the conservationist, which is his legacy towards natural environment parks.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so that's just the
When you were going into Rough Rider, I was thinking of what's his name, the rapper. What's his name?
DMX.
Yes, DMX. I was thinking DMX.
Yeah, well, I love double entendre, so that was like part of it. It was
I'm sure you were thinking, because I also read something about you. You could recite the entire song of Juicy.
Yeah,
And
I'm not doing it though. You're not gonna make me do this on this video. That was it. That was in my 20 things.
I know, and I love. You know what I love about it? My dog's name is Biggie. My first dog was named Biggie, and he's 14. And then when I got a second dog a year later, he was almost named Tupac. So
Oh, jeez.
his name's Tiny. But yeah, I was, you don't want to recite the whole song?
No, I definitely don't. Someone's going to put me on the spot one day. I'm not doing it, so.
Shucks. I even had it all set and ready to go. I was like, because I could do it with you.
I thought that was like a good, that was like one of those good things, like, insights about me, like who are you? Like, look,
Yes.
I grew up listening to hip hop, right?
Yes.
I mean, I played basketball and I was at the basketball courts all the time.
Yeah.
So, so I remember going to college and, I remember going out the first weekend and all of a sudden this song came on and everyone started singing it. Mm-hmm. And it was American Pie. I'd never heard it before.
Oh, really?
No.
Try doing that at karaoke. It's a really long one.
Well, I had no clue. So that was my, growing up, that was my, 90s hip hop, 80s, 90s hip hop, that's my thing. So.
Yeah, it was, you could do the entire, you did a comparison, the entire inaugural speech by JFK.
Right.
And recite Juicy, and I was like, this is a really cool guy. Really cool guy.
Yep. So this is some of our smart technology. One of our members here, Aspire, asked us if they could demo this product. It's a smart board, but it's also video conferencing. It's a little bit of. Let me move this.
Yeah. Here, I want
see that again.
to show this off a little bit. Because what's cool about this space is this space can be rented at any time.
Yep. So
So-
people can come in and use. This is one of our meeting rooms. People can come in and they can just rent it for an hour, or they can rent it for a day. And so this is our smart board. This is a Cisco WebEx board, and
We're gonna play a game.
one of our companies sells this technology, and they wanted us to showcase it in the space.
You ever play Hangman?
I haven't played Hangman since like 3rd grade, so you're gonna have to explain it to me.
So you gotta go through letters of the alphabet.
Okay.
And this is one word.
Okay.
And it's kind of like, was it Wheel of Fortune, right? Where you kind of guess what it is, but you got to go through the alphabet.
Got it. I remember.
I
Okay.
mean, you don't have to start at A and then
Yeah,
at Z,
yeah,
but
yeah.
pick what you want.
Okay.
And for every one that's not there, I'm going to draw
Got it. Okay.
the person hanging.
Okay.
It's a weird game. I wonder where that started.
I don't know. I don't know if they do it in school anymore.
Probably
right?
not. It's probably not allowed.
Tic-tac-toe.
Tic-tac-toe, we could do that one too.
S.
I'm actually helping you out too, because I'm drawing the letter.
All right.
It's not there. That person's really small, by
N.
the way. No.
Oh man.
You're going to be hanging
I
before
know.
we know
What's
it.
my? I don't know my Jeopardy letters here. M. T.
No.
What?
You're going to be hanging before you know it. Oh, come on. Maybe I need to give you a hint.
I need a hint. Is it person, place, or thing?
Thing.
Okay.
We talked about it.
Oh man.
I hope I spelled it right. Yep, I did.
Oh. What? I'm gonna hang right now.
Yeah, this person has a really long arms and legs.
P.
No.
I got zip. What is it? Oh, jeez. Juicy.
I love it. Oh. I was too busy drawing a smiley
I
face.
threw you off.
Oh man. Okay, so what do most people use this for? Video conferencing?
Mix. So presentations, it's a great, people can cast their screens to this, but also too the WebEx meeting model's great. People can call in, you'll have a conference call, you could have, 10 people on the screen.
Oh wow.
And it's really cool technology.
So like different quadrants, and
Exactly.
they can see you and you can see them.
Yep, exactly. And because of the way the camera's positioned, it casts the whole room.
Oh, very cool. So no one feels left out. They're
Nope.
all in it.
It's not like those video calls where it's like one person you can see.
Right.
This one you can see the whole room.
Okay. So no one's really ever playing like tic-tac-toe. They're actually doing some work.
Some people probably play tic-tac-toe.
Have you had any problems or issues in this space, or like with people in general in the incubator at all?
I think the attitude is, and we kind of set the tone when people first come in. This is a community, right? So there's certain things, for example, like, we have a lot of convenience items. We have coffee and we have snacks, we have seltzers, and look, we don't want people packing up seltzers and bringing them home,
Right.
you know? And that's something that we haven't had here, but it's something that you just address it. And
Right.
our community manager will just address it individually, you know? If someone's monopolizing, you know, meeting rooms, you know, we want to, it's just be fair, right?
Right.
Be cool, you know, this is
Right.
for everyone, we're all in it together.
Right.
And that's really the attitude. And I think most people are here, that's their approach.
Okay.
You know, also too, like no one's hard selling here. Like it's not a real hard sell space. Like, look, if someone connects and you guys fit and it makes sense, do business together. But no one's walking around, you know, hard
Right.
selling everyone.
Right.
And that's something that we frown on too. We
Right.
just don't want that because no one wants to be, you know, badgered in the space.
Badgered and
Yeah.
Solicited too.
Exactly.
And, yeah.
And so, look, if it'll happen, we're all in business, so I think people are interested in doing business with people if it fits. But mostly what it is it's people just collaborate. They just talk up. Like one of the things I appreciate myself is, you know, when I had my own office, you know, with my own company, it was me and everyone who worked for me. So all the people I talked to every day were my employees.
Right.
Right. So now I have this space where now I have a group of peers. Now I have other business owners. You know, not everyone works for me. Right. So it's different types of conversations and, you know, and I've made new friends even, you know, so
Yeah.
it's one of those things like that as a business person, you're busy and you're not out all the time and you're not, you know, you're working a lot. And then when
Right.
I'm not working, I want to be home.
Right.
So it's hard to meet new people. And so I think through this, I've been able to meet new people who are really interesting.
Right.
And just, it's been very inspiring and very rewarding because of that type of more social interaction.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, I'm here.
Yeah. And now, look at,
Yeah,
we're chatting, we're hanging,
yeah,
right? So,
I love it. I think it's fantastic. I love what you're doing for the city here. I love what you did in Troy. I love that you're doing it here now and that you're looking to expand and grow. And I love that you're a people person, that you very philanthropic. You have a very big heart and it shows.
well, I appreciate that. And I love what you're doing for Albany. Like I told you, I think Albany is amazing and I love this city. I love this town. I love the people here. There's so many people who are so committed to Albany. You're one of them. You know, you're really, you know, you're going to help, you know, build this newer image of Albany. You're showcasing the people who are doing great stuff. That look, and Troy's been catching a lot of attention. Scanty's getting a lot of attention. You know, deservedly because there's a lot of good things going on. But you know, Albany also deserves to have showcase the things that people are doing here, and it's amazing. And that's why we moved here. I wanted to be a part of the amazing things happening downtown, and I want to be close to, you know, the state capitol and the stuff that's happening in the state. This is right here, 500 feet away, in some ways the center of the political universe. Because the things that happen in New York State are followed by every state in the country. You know, New York leads, has always led. And so we're right smack, you know, in the middle of it.
Yeah. Yeah, that actually would be a great building to tour, and I'm sure it's haunted.
No, it is. It is.
Maybe we'll have to do that at night. Anyone in? Anyone want to stay overnight and see
Late
if they'll let
night
us stay
Capitol
over?
tours.
Late night Capitol tours. Yeah, maybe that's a new thing. Maybe they need ghost tours.
So there's so the Capitol tour guides know the ghost stories. They'll tell them to you.
Okay.
You know, there's definitely some hauntings. The building's been on fire. You know, some people have died there, and there's definitely some stories around that building, no doubt. So
Any stories here that you've heard of?
not yet.
No.
Not yet.
You're making them.
I know. I haven't been here late enough, I don't think. So
Well, cheers.
cheers. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. That was Tom Nardacci with the Moose Club, and thanks for joining me and
Yeah.
doing this.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.